Good morning, everyone. I'm San Francisco Mayor London Breed, and I want to welcome you all to Alamo Square. You know, Alamo Square is one of the most beautiful, iconic places in San Francisco. We get tourists from all over the world who come here to stand behind me and hang out with George and other folks who live there at the Painted Ladies and have some wonderful experiences. And the other people who also look at this neighborhood and want to be here, sadly, are people who are breaking into cars and stealing items from not only the local residents who live here, but many of the tourists who come here. Can you imagine going to a city, a beautiful, iconic city like San Francisco, and all of a sudden your entire trip is ruined because your passport is stolen? This has been going on for far too long. Now, the reason why we are all here has a lot to do with the need to make some adjustments. Over the years, we have seen real challenges in the past between the police department and neighborhoods. And in fact, we've worked very hard, hand in hand with community and with the police to address those reforms. In fact, we have so many great members of the community who are actively engaged in building bridges and helping to protect the community and helping to curb the violence. And it's no wonder San Francisco has had one of its lowest homicide rates in decades, as well as a huge clearance rate. So thank you to United Players, and thank you to the Street Violence Intervention Program. They show up for folks in communities across this city, including the folks in Chinatown when the anti-Asian hate was happening. These African-American men right behind me, the ones who patrol Chinatown and other neighborhoods to keep our seniors safe. We are working hard to ensure that in addition to police, there are alternatives to policing. And I am appreciative of members of the Board of Supervisors, a number of our commissioners, our leaders from all over San Francisco, from neighborhoods from the Richmond to the Tenderloin to the Sunset to Geneva Towers and other places. People are coming out with one single message. Yes, we want reforms to our police department, but unfortunately, members of the Police Commission have gone way too far. Some of you remember, and we chose this place deliberately, when there was a car break-in and the police were there. And the police and other members of the public disrupted that particular situation so it didn't escalate. However, when the car sped off, many people wondered why the police could not pursue and make sure that that person is brought to justice. Part of some of the changes to policies have limited our officers' ability to be as effective as we know they can. People are always wondering, why didn't the police do this? Why didn't the police do that? And it all goes back to many of these new, consistently changing, conflicting policies that have not helped with reforms. They have only made San Francisco less safe.
That's right.
So now we have to make some changes. And I appreciate the members of the Board of Supervisors who are here, because as much as we've tried to work with the Board of Supervisors, as much as we've tried to work with the Police Commission, and we have two of the commissioners here today, it continues to be an uphill battle. What we are introducing today is a change that is necessary, a change that recognizes that we have evolved, a change that recognizes that we want safe streets in every part of San Francisco, in every neighborhood. We want to see change in San Francisco. We don't want to just hear about it. We want to see the change in our policies and in our investments to get our city to a better place. And that's why we're here for a Safer San Francisco. So let me tell you what this is. We are taking something to the ballot. We're going around the Board of Supervisors. We're going around the Police Commission. We're going straight to the people of San Francisco, because we need the people of San Francisco to know all the intricate details of the challenges that have made it so tough for us to do simple things that we know the public wants to see. We are going directly to the voters. I've been visiting police stations all over the city. I've been attending community meetings. Everyone is speaking the same language. Whether someone has been a victim of a crime, or even people who are former perpetrators of crime, want to see change in this city, are willing to roll up their sleeves and work with us to do the important work that's necessary. Now, San Francisco is a compassionate city. We believe in second chances. We believe in helping people. We ban the box. So if you are looking for employment, we have almost 5,000 vacant positions in San Francisco. Work with us to do something that doesn't get you in trouble and make somebody feel worse because of the crime you committed. We want change, and here's how we're going to do it. First are the tools. Safer San Francisco will authorize the police to install and use security cameras. Now, many of you thought that that was already possible, but no, it is not. It authorizes them to use drones, modern technology. So when that person is trying to get away, instead of, in some cases, a chase through our city streets, how do we follow them and how do we make the arrests necessary? It will also allow the department to use some of the latest in technology. We can't be living in the dark ages when technology, San Francisco is the AI capital of the world. We have technology tools and we need to use them. No more, no you can't, no you can't, no you can't. Let's get to yes so we can make our city safer. Second are the rules. Safer SF directs the police to pursue criminals when they commit a crime. That's it. The ability to do their jobs without obstruction. The ability to do their jobs without being micromanaged. The ability to do their jobs without having a complaint go to the Department of Police Accountability that is not related to the job more so than it's related to some basic HR stuff. It also eliminates requirements for unnecessary paperwork. So we don't keep sending officers back to their desks when they can be out on the streets. If an officer revives somebody who is overdosing from Narcan and two other officers are standing there and everyone has their camera on, why does all three of those officers have to do a report in writing? One report, video footage from 3 cameras, that's efficiency. That is not something that should even be debatable. Third, under the charter, the police commission, which is appointed by me, approved by the Board of Supervisors, and appointed by the supervisors, and approved by the supervisors, whole lengthy, detailed process, and people are like, Mayor, aren't you responsible for the department? Well, yes, I am, but the police commission is responsible for policies. And they, from my perspective, many of them, which have the majority, are doing things to roll back important things that keep San Franciscans safe. It is very problematic. People are wondering, why is everyone riding their bikes and scooters on the sidewalks? Why are police not able to pursue? Why can't they use surveillance? Well, Safer SF will put in place a transparent process so that they are not making policy decisions with advocates in isolation. They have to take this to the community. They have to come to the Alamo Square Neighborhood Association. They have to go to the Richmond. They have to have a transparent process, and they have to explain themselves to the public why a change of this nature needs to happen. And they have to do a basic analysis so people understand that how much amount of time is going to take for paperwork and what does this mean in terms of keeping officers off the streets. Police officers should not be spending more than 20% of their time doing paperwork in order to keep San Franciscans safe. So this really puts limits on their abilities to do so. No more general orders today, general order tomorrow, conflicting general orders. And all of a sudden our officers are like, okay, I got to sit in my office for at least the next couple of hours. My captain has to explain this to me. That takes officers off the streets. And then it's confusing and it's a whole nother ball game with no time for implementation. It is ridiculous. It is insane. So those are the things that we're changing. The tools, the rules, and the commission and their ability to make policy without informing the public about what that means. Because even though these things may seem simple, they are very complex in terms of what is happening. Many of you, again, asking the questions, why? Why can't the police do this? Why can't well, they want to, but they have a sworn oath to obey the general orders that get passed by the commission. So now we are going to the voters and say, voters of San Francisco, this is what's happening. These are the basic tools we need to improve public safety in San Francisco. Support Safer SF today. And let me just wrap up by saying, despite the challenges, our police officers have been doing an extraordinary job, doing the best they can. You know, we have done a lot of changes to alternatives to policing, people struggling with mental illness. We have our street crisis response team. We have our street violence intervention programs and other nonprofits who are on the ground working to deal with some of those challenges, bringing the police and other resources to prevent crimes and to also help with retaliation and other issues. And as I said earlier, San Francisco is seeing record low numbers as it relates to homicides and also high clearance rates, which demonstrates if you cross those lines, we will do a thorough investigation and we will come for you. That is what that means. We have seen the bait car operations work where we have made significant numbers of arrests, and we are starting to see those car break-ins continue to decline, and we want to keep it that way. And we are out there. You may not see us until you get caught, but we are out there. That's right. And with regards to this retail theft, I just want to say, remember, when you go into Walgreens and you're stealing from your grandmother's and your auntie pharmacy and she can't go to another place that's too far from her neighborhood to get her medicine, you are not only destroying the opportunity for these places to be open in your neighborhood, you're creating a whole nother health issue for your relatives who rely on these pharmacies every single day. So we do have retail operations going on as we speak. We have made arrests at Walgreens, Dior, Lululemon, and we're going to continue to do this work. So you never know what store you might walk in and something may happen where you may get arrested. And to be clear, this is not something that we wanted to push for, because San Francisco believes in second chances and opportunities, and we will work with you on that. But these lines have been crossed time and time again. Our compassion has been taken for weakness, as if anything goes in San Francisco. Well, no longer does anything go. Despite the lack of the kinds of tools we need, we are still doing the job. We are still making arrests. We are still following up with our investigations. We are still doing everything we can to bring people to justice, to make San Francisco a safer city for everybody who lives here and visits here. That is our goal, and that's why it's important that when we go to the ballot in March of 2024, we need voters to turn out in record numbers to vote for Safer SF. Yeah, that's right. There's so much more I can say about this. But the last thing I'm going to end on is, I grew up in this community, and I'm here with people who I grew up with. Times were not easy. In fact, the relationship between me and our community and law enforcement wasn't a good one. Would we have liked to see some reforms happen back then to help deal with that challenging relationship? Yes. But we're doing those things now, and we haven't given up. And now, again, those same people who may have been part of the challenges of the community are now the leaders in the community, fighting for a safer city, fighting for a better San Francisco, making change and providing opportunities to see people's lives better. That's what this city is about, and that's what we will continue to be about. But what we will not continue to allow to happen on our streets is the lack of accountability. We have a police department that is prepared to do what's necessary to make arrests. We have a district attorney who is prepared to prosecute cases. And we have people all over San Francisco who want and deserve better. Safer San Francisco will deliver better for the people of San Francisco.
That's right.
And with that, I'd like to turn it over to one of the few supervisors on the Board of Supervisors who actually supports common sense public safety measures, Supervisor Catherine Stephanie.
Thank you, Mayor Breed. It is a pleasure to be out here this morning with community and public safety advocates, and I applaud the mayor for this measure because it is so needed. The other day, I was in the Presidio in my district at Chuseok Festival, and there, after I spoke, there was a man waiting for me, waiting to speak to me about something. And he came up to me and he said, "Supervisor Stephanie, do you have a minute?" And I said, "Of course." And he said, "Well, about a year ago, my son was murdered. And I have been working with the San Francisco Police Department, who have been absolutely incredible. The homicide investigator has been there for me and my family every step of the way. But the problem is he keeps getting pulled to other details. And he's not able to devote 100% attention to it because of our staffing shortage. When we're 600 officers short, that has real impacts in our community. It has real impacts for families who are suffering because they have unsolved homicide investigations when we know our police officers want to dedicate everything they have in them to solve those crimes. This measure is a step in the right direction to make certain we are doing everything to address the shortage. We can't just go out and hire 700 police officers tomorrow, but we certainly can look at what the police commission is doing. We can look at the paperwork. We can look at everything that is preventing the policing, the type of policing we need in this city. I am a former prosecutor, and I have gone to our stations in my district, and I've sat with officers one-on-one, and I've asked them, what is the impediment to your job? What is the problem? You're being accused of not being out there. They talk about the paperwork. They talk about the policies that come down that are confusing and conflicting and duplicative. And this measure will do everything we can to make certain that we are giving the officers the tools they need to keep San Francisco safe. So I am a big proponent of Safer San Francisco, and I want to again applaud the mayor for putting this forward. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thanks so much. I really want to express my gratitude to Mayor London Breed for the Safer San Francisco ballot measure. I think this is a worthy companion to the work that we're doing to get and finally deliver on the promise of a fully staffed police department. This is a smart on crime approach. If this removes needless inefficiencies, and it will enable our police officers to do their jobs for us more effectively. San Franciscans deserve a police department with the same access to surveillance technology as every other county in California. It makes no sense that we have the most restrictive and onerous surveillance technology policies that are preventing law enforcement personnel from doing their jobs. I represent the South of Market neighborhood. I live in Mid-Market. This is a neighborhood where the restrictions on surveillance technology are nothing less than a fentanyl dealer full employment act, and it needs to end, and I am grateful to Mayor London Breed for her leadership in doing that. The Safer San Francisco ballot measure will streamline some of the absurdly onerous restrictions on police officers' use of camera technology. It will hold criminals and fentanyl dealers accountable. It will make San Francisco safer. And most important, it will help save lives. Please join me in supporting this important measure, and thank you, Mayor London Breed.
Hi, I'm Joel Engardio. I represent the Sunset District on the Board of Supervisors. San Francisco's police department is a leader in reform, and that's a good thing. But reform cannot get in the way of effective policing. We need it. We deserve it. We need and deserve both reform and effective policing, and this common sense measure gets us there. So that's why I'm so grateful for the mayor to put this on the ballot, because frankly, we don't have enough supervisors who could put this on the ballot ourselves. And so it's important for the voters to have your voice heard and take control and go to the ballot in March and enact this common sense reform so our police can get their job done. Out in the Sunset, everyone asks for more police to be walking on the merchant corridors and foot patrols, but they can't do that if they're stuck in the office doing all this paperwork. So this helps free them up to do their job, gives them the tools they need, and it's something that we need in San Francisco. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, I wish we had more support from the Police Commission, but at least we have two of our good commissioners here, Commissioner Larry Yee, and at this time, I'm going to ask Commissioner Deborah Walker to say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Breed, both, I think, for appointing me to the commission, but also for this really important effort. I've been on the Police Commission for a little over a year, and on a weekly basis, if not daily basis, I'm really frustrated by the current system that allows police commissioners, which should weigh in, to have an opinion representing the communities that we live in. But none of us are law enforcement. None of us are trained law enforcement. And yet we're dictating policy that tells the police how they're supposed to, enforce the law out in the streets. I spent time recently at the invitation of the department to meet with the new officers who are working on policy creation. And that's where the infamous DGOs get discussed. And we were actually discussing the Department General Order about writing Department General Orders. And we went around in a circle for at least 2 hours, and everything in it was contradictory as to schedules and who is supposed to weigh in. And that's just one. That's the order on writing orders. This needs analysis. I mean, we need to actually look at the rules that we're talking about and analyze them to the effect that it's having on the force. So I also want to say, I want to reiterate, we are so behind on technology because of the hamstrung ability for us to try out policies. We are short in officers. There is a way to use technology to help us enforce the law and deal with the issues the mayor outlined and the supervisors outlined. But we need to be able to put it in the cars and put it in the cameras and actually make it so that the officers don't have to use 3 hours of time after their beat to do paperwork. So I really hope that we all in the city can support it. It will help us all do the job to do reforms in our department. We have one of the most reform-minded departments in the country. We're a national model for that. But we need to do reforms as well as keeping our streets safe. So thank you. I totally support this, and I hope that we can get everybody's vote. Thank you.
And thank you, Chief Bill Scott, for being here, and folks from Northern Station who are joining us. Just two neighborhood speakers that I want to introduce. First, from the Street Violence Intervention Program, I want to ask Howard Smith to say a few words.
Good morning to you all, to our mayor and to our police chief, Scott, and to the community. I think this is, what I will say one thing to the commission is this. Whenever policy is made, whenever rules are made, it's made for the most part for the safety of the community. But we have to remember it has to be made in the spirit of the community. It can't be politics, it can't be personal agendas. It has to be made with the spirit of the community and the spirit of keeping our seniors safe, keeping our children safe, and keeping our community safe. So I support this 100%. I thank you, Mayor Breed, for having the courage to stand up and do some things that is against the norm, So I appreciate that. And Chief Scott, I appreciate you for continue to battle with us in the community, because when our communities were safe is when we had a good relationship with the police department. That's when our communities really were safe. So I want to say that to the commission. Remember, when you make those policies, it has to be in the spirit of the people that you're trying to keep safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. And last but not least, from the Richmond District, I want to invite up to say a few words, Ms. Lee.
Hello, 大家好，早晨。 我係李佩橋，我住喺
Take out the
Yeah, sorry 大家好，早晨。我係李佩橋，我住喺利治文區琴明街。最近我哋嘅街區咧，經常發生嗰啲店鋪咧，俾人入屋偷嘢，非常影響我哋嘅鄰居嘅購物同埋我哋個人嘅安全。上個月咧，我參加我哋利治文分區警察嘅分局嘅會議上警方向我哋市民解釋，現在嘅警察委員會訂立嗰個新嘅指引，規定警員不能追捕小偷和劫匪。我們嘅市民對這個荒謬嘅政策感到非常驚訝，我們對警察嘅委員會嗰個決定非常失望。我哋支持市長糾正這個錯誤嘅政策，在使我哋嘅居民住嘅地方經常出現偷嘢嘅問題。雖然個小部分嘅居民自己裝嘅防盜嗰個錄影機，但是我哋追蹤嘅劫匪就必須有一個全面，必須有一個全面覆蓋三藩市每一個地段嘅錄影嘅系統，先能夠。我哋非常支持市長嘅提案提出嘅方案，令三藩市更安全。這是我認識嘅鄰居嘅一致嘅立場，即係咪佢心願，即係喺我哋三藩市更安全。多謝大家，我係講咁多。
Hi, I'm Leon Chow. I'm supposed to do interpretation, but since the mayor talked about embracing 21st technology and with the AI, I'm going to use what she just read with a very common app, and I'm going to be translating in English, and I'm going to push the voice button. If it works, then we are actually embracing the technology. Let's see how it works. Okay.
Morning, my name is Lee P. Chow. I live on Clement Street in Richmond. Shop thefts have been happening frequently in my neighborhood recently, which has greatly affected our neighbors' shopping and personal safety. Last month, I attended a meeting at the Richmond District Police Station. At the meeting, the police explained to residents that the new guidelines set by the Police Commission stipulate that police officers cannot pursue thieves and robbers. We citizens are shocked by this ridiculous policy. We are extremely disappointed with this Police Commission decision, and we support the mayor's policy of correcting this wrong. In addition, crime problems often occur where I live. Although a small number of neighbors have installed anti-theft video cameras, if you want to track the suspect, you must have a video system that comprehensively covers every area in San Francisco, allowing the police department to can effectively track gangsters. Therefore, I strongly support the mayor's plan to make San Francisco safer, and this is the unanimous position of the neighbors I know. Thank you all.
I'm going to lose my job, but...
Don't worry, Leon. We got 5,000 positions available with San Francisco. So there you have it, folks. Again, thank you all so much for being here today. As you can see, there are so many people from so many different communities. There are merchants here, residents, folks who work in senior centers, folks who work on the streets of the communities. We have to make a change, and we have to make a change today. This will go on the ballot. March 2024. So when election times comes, we're going to be out there turning out the votes to get people to show up to support a safer San Francisco and send a strong message. We are watching you, Police Commission. We are watching the Board of Supervisors. And don't just say you want a safe city. Make the changes to the policies that are going to lead to the results we need and deserve. Thank you.